What up, y'all? It's your boy KAIZEN, and have you ever had a bidet that's been misaligned?
What?
Yeah, that's what Moon-Submerged Lake is all about, and we're about to do a VOD review for it. I want to do a VOD review rather than having to play the content and talking about it at the same time, because there are some details that I end up missing and I don't get to have that kind of information laid out for you guys to see. So we're gonna do it this way. And also the timer on this is too short for me to be able to do content, wait for certain gimmicks to appear, and then talk about it. So we're just gonna get right into it. So Moon-Submerged Lake has 3 bosses. I've pre-recorded a separate boss for Cheshire Cat, because for Moon-Submerged Lake you only need to fight 2 out of 3 in order to unlock the final boss of this phase, and then you get to go underground and then finish the entire tour. So for this part we're going to cover Murk and the Logger. Let me just go over the mechanics of this map first. There it is, the Triumph system. You can read the text for yourselves, but basically you kill a bunch of monsters, you get your gauge filled up over here, you will have a special key, and once you activate it you get more damage. Basically do more damage. Let's get a move on. Also, defeating these bosses will give you more damage to deal, and niche upgrades like evasion or physical damage reduction. I think the final boss of this phase gives extra life tokens. Oh, there's also neutral gauge reduction and evasion. But right now I'm looking for the Murk. Usually after 4 or 5 rooms clearing the monsters, you're good to go. But be wary when you transfer rooms without clearing the monsters, they do get a lot tougher. Sewing Murk has no sewing machine, no prior experience, doesn't even have the needle or thread, but he's murking. He about to murk me actually. This guy's got fairly simple, fairly intuitive gimmicks, but he only has one main one that we need to worry about, which is Brute Rush. For those who have played a lot of Largo level 3, you'll be familiar with this method. This counter indicates how many times you gotta get him to ram these gems. You'll be able to guide him or bait him twice. This is his target, and this is the range of his collision with you. Basically you gotta lead him 5 times, but he can only sustain so many charges, which is what these are for. The damage indicator in front of him shows that he can be collided up to 3 times, but you won't have to worry about it. He's gonna have a mini groggy in between. So once those 3 indicators are gone, I'll take a quick break, and then the gauge will still keep going. There'll be 2 more indicators, lead them to 2 more gems. Oops. I skipped something. Right, I died. Let me show you how I died. You get caught, get tossed. There is a way to do this, which I forgot. You can use backstep upgrade as soon as you hit the floor, and I framed the whole thing. So as soon as I hit the floor over there, I should have used backstep upgrade, and I'd be able to dodge some of those hits. So let's fast forward to the good ending. This one is a smaller gimmick, causes an eruption. Just jump over it. Mites rise, yada yada yada. Alright. Brute Rush. So yes, 2 damage indicators, get him to crash onto 2 pillars. Not quite. Mini Groggy over there. And then do it 2 more times. There you go. And then you finish the gimmick. And then you get to kick his butt. There you go. Go grab an actual sewing machine. Up next. Oh yeah. His mini buff is 5% overall damage and 20% additional neutral gauge reduction. Let's go look for the logger. Not the beer. But this guy. Grailo. Alright. So just a few things. This tree has to do with his neutralization gauge. You deplete it so he doesn't recover. These blue orbs are what you're going to absorb. Once you do, you will have a small indicator to lead you to the tree. Judging by how many blocks there is, you gotta grab 5 of these, touch tree, and then you'll activate his gimmick. He does have 1 or so. Well, I'll show you when it appears. All right. So he will spread out tree trunks, but don't worry about them just yet. Pay attention to the bar first. It will either be absorb or discharge. If it says discharge, the outer area of the trees will explode. Conversely, if it says absorb, the inner area of where the trees are surrounding this tree, or not this tree, just in general, are gonna explode. So for example, if, let's rewind a bit, see how the trees are laid out across the room. If it says discharge, stay in the general center of all of this and you'll be safe. And I do just that. No damage for me. Again, conversely, if it says absorb, stay away from the center. Go on the outer side of those tree trunks. Absorb, but the general consensus is if it's close, the proximity between Grailo and the trees, you look at the gauge and what it says. If it says absorbed, stay away from where Grailo and the trees are. Okay, because the explosion will happen here between them. It says discharge, the safe zone is in between them, making it so difficult for me. Also, now that the malefic energy from the tree has been locked, these blue orbs will start dropping, and these green orbs, malefic energy, will come back to the tree. Your goal is to pick up these blue orbs and touch the green orbs. You do it enough times, and Grailo will be able to be damaged at a higher damage multiplier. And basically, it's go time. Okay, throws a little temper tantrum. Absorb. Touch the green. Stay away. Bada bing, bada boom. Druggy time. Easy peasy. Okay, this is the other separate game. Obviously, I'm using my Warlord now, and I am looking for Cheshire, the third boss before we fight the final boss of this phase. Okay, here he comes. Again, Cheshire, just like the other bosses, only has one true gimmick that you really gotta watch out for. Everything else is almost negligible. What you want to watch out for are his interactions with rats. That's right, cats and rats. So these rats, you want to guide them into the zombies. If these zombies approach Cheshire, bad things will happen, to say the least. There is a counter here that allows you to, that lets you know how many of these rats you need to guide into these zombies. I believe it started with 12. You just run over these mice like once and then lead them to the zombie. Be simple. And then Cheshire the Copycat will enter groggy state and you just wail on him. Wow. Exclusive gaming. There's 2A. Bye baby. Now we're on final boss of the first phase, Camerin. You'll notice that she has two different kinds of attacks, one from herself and the other from the pink turtle. There is one major gimmick that these two share, and it has to do with immunity from their damage, and it's color coded too, so it makes it a lot easier. So in this case, if it's yellow, all of Cameron's attacks, the human, will do no damage to you, but the pink turtle's damage, however, will still go through. Of course, you can flex a little bit and tank as much damage of Cameron's as possible. Conversely, you may also be given the pink field, so you'll be immune to the pink turtle's damage. Now, I know I'm standing on the pink pillar when I should be standing on the yellow pillar. Even if your shield disappears, the symbol won't. So, of course, the correct way would be for me to stand on the yellow pillar. Lo and behold, that is not the case. Thankfully, I live with just a sliver of health, but that's basically it. Same color shield, same color pillar. You'll be safe from that final attack. You get a groggy, maybe your gauge breaks, and that's Camerin. You also get 4 life tokens on top of that. Very nice. Onwards to phase 2. The only boss before the final one that appears is Zermio. Now Zermio has a few mechanics going on for him. Mainly it has to do with this pink ring around him, and there will be 2 colored targets that's going to appear. One is going to be pink and it's going to be white. Additionally, there's going to be spears that's going to be embedded on the floor. We are going to prioritize them once we see it. I'll go over it once we see it. For example, this white ring on the floor, like I said earlier, we want to prioritize it because Zermio will attack the surrounding area, and the center is its safe zone. Just like that. Just keep following it. Of course, we want to get out of the red damage areas. More white zones, we stay inside. A little bit of a dancey dance with him. It usually takes quite a while for him to get going, get his gimmicks going. There is a timer, sort of like a timer for the boss. He will keep moving if you don't kill him right away, which is fine. He will appear on the 2nd, 4th, and the 7th rooms on your way to the boss. 7th room is like the final room that he will enter in. So by then, you probably would have killed him already. If you end up killing him early, then he's not gonna appear in the other rooms. That's the only benefit that happens. But if you manage to not kill him, then yeah, he's gonna appear in the other rooms and have a little bit more variety with his attacks. But everything else stays the same. Go ahead and get moving. There are some filler monsters to help you fill up your gauge if you're lacking any. Here comes Zermio again. Alright, I'll put you in your place. He disappears and you will have this pink target on you. Your goal is to look for his silhouette. Now, regardless of his gimmick, any attacks that he does that involve this pink target reticle, you are to pass through his pink ring. In doing so, disables the targeting reticle and keeps you safe. Shortly after that, a white target reticle will now appear on Zermio. Your goal to disable it is simply basic attack. If you don't, you get chopped. So I successfully do a basic attack, and you'll notice that this saber attack thing is now implanted on the ground. He will do this 3 times, and then of course that white zone thing gimmick is gonna play out. Okay, pink target outside the pink ring, basic attack, sweep. I keep forgetting to do this, but when he says sweep, he's going to drive this thing on the floor and it's going to cause a shockwave. Simply jump over it. Okay, silhouette, find them. Pink ring appears, pass through, wait for the white target, basic attack, and here, since he planted 3, you just gotta stay in the safe zone 3 times. That's 1, that's 2, 3rd time's the charm. Another basic attack, just go to town with him. A little bit more. Okay. I think I'm waiting for Zermio to do anything else interesting, but I just wanted to show how far he goes. So we move through the rooms. We're getting, if you're lacking extra gauge, that's what these rooms are for, just to help you build it up a little more. Build Zermio here. He just repeats his patterns over and over again. Sweep the ring. What? It's a combination of all of the things that I've previously explained. After that, you should be. Now, the final boss of the entire dungeon. Wulard. Alright. First things first. Get a new gauge, which means you gotta watch out for applications. Mainly this embedded fragment. This fragment will stay on the floor for a while. The only thing that you need to worry about when it does start floating off of the ground, you can just hit it with a basic attack, and those fragments will start flying towards Wulard, doing damage to his neutralized gauge. If you're running low, please stand on this yellow arrow area and you will get it refreshed. Now these bramble vines will deplete your yellow gauge and also apply rupture to your character, so do be careful. If you do get ensnared, simply use space or your jump key to get over it. See that the crystals are now floating. I give it a love tap. Watch the gauge. Okay, bit of neutralized gauge. And so this goes on for quite some time until you whittle down Wulard to his death. Transmit pain. Wulard is now firing bramble vines across the room. Your goal is to save your partner, Moon Hunter. I almost said Moon Knight. There will be 3 yellow orbs that are scattered across the room during this gimmick. Pick up an orb and go to your Moon Hunter. So this is the yellow orb that I'm talking about. Here, pick it up. And then you touch him. Do keep in mind that if you do have the yellow orb and you get ensnared, or if you have gauge and you use it up for the fragments, it may not be enough and it might even disappear. Okay, so the bramble will completely deplete your gauge. It won't be able to save the Moon Hunter. Saving the Moon Hunter by collecting and touching him with 3 orbs will have the Moon Hunter grant you a shield from Wulard's attack, followed by a really nice groggy. And for the most part, this is all there is to it. Dodge its attacks, will let him down with the crystals. Yellow good, purple bad. Fast forward a bit. Alright. Transmit pain again. Collect 3 orbs and free the Moon Hunter. If the floating fragments ever explode, you don't need to worry about it. They just disappear. There's no harm in that. Nice iframe. If you fail the gimmick, if you fail the transmit pain gimmick, there will be no shield and there will be no groggy. Also, your Moon Hunter will be disabled for a bit and they won't be able to fire those yellow arrows for a while. Alright, Wulard phase 2. This one's a little bit more interesting. Now you have a maw right in the center. Your goal is to get rid of this maw. You can damage it until it disappears, get him to groggy, or after Wulard jumps, he will have a target on you. It will stay purple for quite a bit. Once it turns white, that is your signal to get away from there. Once the target goes white, it's no longer going to follow you, but you need to keep in mind that once Wulard drops, there will be a shockwave, so just jump over it. Get out of the area and jump over it. Additionally, if you have Wulard jump on the maw, it will do a pretty decent damage to it. So while you whittle down, avoid the brambles and these red damage areas. Do damage to the maw, and Wulard will do a good chunk of it. Again, your goal is to get rid of this maw. Only have one, there's a bit of time. I would highly recommend, if you don't have the damage, to have Wulard drop onto the maw. As soon as it turns white, get away and jump. Right, the brambles will also be there to make your time a little bit harder. And if you do die, the default area, I believe, will be just shy of south where the maw is. So lucky for us, that's where Wulard is. If you successfully destroy the maw, Moon Hunter comes down to help you by giving you a shield because Wulard is now gonna throw a tantrum. And then now you get a nice hefty Groggy. Don't forget to use your moon buff. Like I did. I guess you don't need to do much when you have plenty of time or plenty of damage. There goes the buff. 50% overall damage for 20 seconds. I'm just letting this play out some more because I wanted to find out if Wulard has any more important attacks, but it's just more or less the same thing, just rehashed differently. I believe he has one more where it's in the form of a train, so just gotta dodge. The purple trail that he leaves will detonate eventually. That's pretty much it. Erupted fragments will give you a chance to destroy these fragments. If you don't, again, it's okay. Just stay away from it. Only at that time when the erupted fragments gimmick appear will it do damage. Otherwise, just steer clear. No need to worry about it. Oh, that was it. And that is it for the Moon-Submerged Lake. Would have been a lot sooner if I wasn't hunting for the moon. Kanshi instructed me to, but that's just how that goes. Etchaboikaizen, and I hope you don't submerge your moon in a lake anytime soon. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.